All right, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Jay coming back again with another NFL Power Rankings, Week 16. Before we get started, guys, make sure you smash that like, that thumbs up. It is, of course, much appreciated. And if you are new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click the bell to be notified of all future streams moving forward. All right, before we get started, guys, it's going to be a crazy week for weather. So I just want to give a shout out to everyone out there traveling during the holiday season. Make sure you're safe out there, whether you're driving, flying, whatever. Be safe. We're supposed to get a lot of snow in the north here, and it's gonna get brutally cold. So make sure you guys are taking care as much as you can. All right, let's go ahead and get to NFL Week 16 Power Rankings. Coming in at number 15. It's going to be your Washington Commanders. They were number 14 after the loss. It's going to drop them down here to number 15. We'll get right into it. It says, when it was over, the Commanders had every right to be frustrated. An illegal procedure penalty on Terry McLaurin wiped out the Brian Robinson touchdown in the final minute. A subsequent fourth down pass to Curtis Samuel was ruled incomplete despite compelling visual evidence that Samuel had been interfered with by Giants corner Darnay Holmes. This is a weird one. Primetime games are really weird. You guys know that. I had to go back and check out the highlights because I wasn't able to actually catch the whole game. I was trying to rest up. But yeah, this was a tough one. From the highlights that I seen, Giants obviously, had their lead. And then the Commanders tried to come back. But interesting. Very interesting to see, Daniel Jones pull off the victory and Tyler Heineke having so much trouble. But with that said, they dropped down to number 15. Coming in at number 14, it's going to be the Jets. Losing against the Lions. Jared Goff is I won't say he's surprising me this year. I just think he's showing that he's the quarterback who we all know that he is, right? I think a lot of people have slept on Jared, and for some reason they didn't think he had the talent to go to the Lions and do what he's doing. So shout out to Jared Goff. I actually said that in the last video with in respect to Zach Wilson, who is clearly not cut out. He's clearly not cut out to be a quarterback for the Jets. And I'm sure the Jets fans will agree. Zach Wilson is not it. He is not it. I think Mike White needs to come back and take control of things at quarterback because Zach Wilson's not it. Without a doubt. Hopping into the chat real quick here. What's up, Ronald? Popular Clips, what's going on, man? Kevin says the NFL has gone to an average league. Just look at the records. Kevin, this goes back to what I've been saying. There is not one clear, dominant team in the NFL right now. Granted, the Eagles are winning. Granted, the Eagles are doing what they're doing. But they just don't look dominant to me. Records don't mean everything. Because when the postseason comes, records go out the window when the postseasons come. There's a different level of play. Tom Brady's going to sneak into the playoffs. Who knows what may happen? Who knows? It's very easy to be speculative and give these predictions and all these projections and all these models. Things change. We're going to see some wild stuff happen in the playoffs. And that's without a doubt. Luda says, Jay, it could be Zach needs more time as playing the game. I would agree. I'm not saying that Zach Wilson should be out of the NFL. I'm saying that he's just not it right now. Right? You got to put him back on the bench. He needs a lot more time to develop, be coached, understand the game from a learning perspective, right? Not just going out there and saying, "Oh, I'm a star quarterback as a rookie and I can go out here and I'm just going to go out here gunslinging." You know, he's got to learn how to become a winner. He's got to learn how to basically be a quarterback, how to be a leader, how to become a captain. And I think that's where Zach Wilson's having his trouble. He's having the most of his trouble, not by not learning and developing into becoming that person. If you look at a lot of the quarterbacks like Jimmy Garoppolo, Jacoby Brissett, I use them as an example because obviously they learned under the GOAT, right? Look where they are now. Established quarterbacks in the league who do fairly decent. So, all right. Jets coming in, number 14. They dropped 2 this week. All right, moving on. Number 13, the Giants. Obviously, they beat the Commanders in Sunday Night Football. It's going to say the Giants won their most important game of the year because their best player balled out and their most promising rookie announced his arrival. A rejuvenated Saquon Barkley. Let's talk about Saquon for a minute. How many of you wrote off Saquon Barkley because of the injuries and all that stuff? Said that he was going to be a bust. Saquon is back. The guy is balling, running his tail off. And I think he's got it together. Now, with that said, the Giants as a whole, they've had a lot of troubles, especially at wide receiver. But Saquon's been holding it down. And Daniel's been trying to find a way to win. So, they move on to number 13. What's up, Yolanda? Shout out to Richard, says I was wrong. Hey, like I feel like last year there was a ton of talk around Saquon. You know, whether or not he was a bust and whether or not he was going to be able to do anything or bounce back. And I was saying in my mind, I was like, well, you know what? I'm not going to write him off just yet, right? I'm going to give it some time, see if he can bounce back. And he has. So shout out to Saquon as the Giants move up to 13. Immortal says, so my Bears must have made the top 10, right? We'll see, Immortal. Shout out to you, man. All right. Moving on. Number 12, Baltimore Ravens. They actually dropped down. They were previously number 8. The hope prayer is that Lamar Jackson's return to the lineup will signal the end of the offensive woes for the Ravens, who were kept out of the red zone in a sleepy 13-3 loss to the Browns. Baltimore continued to run the ball with authority, but the passing attack remained moribund, an issue that predated Jackson's knee injury. We all know this. The Ravens are not a great passing team. Lamar Jackson is a running quarterback. So you're not going to win games where you have to pass if you're a running quarterback, and that's just the reality of it, right? And that's not to discredit Lamar Jackson because he's a great quarterback. He really is. But it's more run heavy. He doesn't have accuracy in the deep ball. So obviously when you have Tyler Huntley come in, he's doing the best he can to try and win. And it just so happens that Deshaun Watson was able to outduel these Ravens in that game in the game they played. So Ravens go down to number 12 from number 8 this week. Moving on. Jacksonville Jaguars. Moving to number 11. And what are we going to say about Trevor Lawrence? Huh? What are we going to say about Trevor Lawrence? The man bounced back against the Titans. The man bounced back against the Cowboys. Left the Cowboys fans in shambles. He did it twice. And I called it. I definitely called it. This was a surprise victory. I caught the halftime odds. Put a little cash on it. They came back. And this has been some weird. If you look at the odds, and I'll just throw this out here to my bettors. who actually like study the odds and look at the movements during the game. In any game where the other team is up, right? And let's say by like a 14-point lead or something like that. Go look at the odds during halftime, right? If the odds are like super high, like I'll say if the odds are over like plus 800, the game is probably sold. And you can have on your tinfoil hat, but this is just the reality of things, right? The game's probably sold, and the team that has the most points is probably going to win, right? That team that has 14 points or whatever they're up by, they're probably going to win. But if those odds are around plus 200 to plus 375-ish, I've noticed, and I'm just saying, tinfoil hat gang, where you at? I've noticed that every time those odds are between, like I said, 100 to 375-ish, the team that was losing comes back and wins the game. And I'm just going to leave that one with you guys there. Do with that what you will. Jaguars move on to number 11. Dolphins. They go up to 10, even though they took the L to the Bills Mafia. Shout out to the snowball throwers. Shout out to the snowball throwers. Absolutely ridiculous game. Tons of snow on the seats. So the Bills fans and the Dolphins fans who were throwing snowballs as well found an easy way to remove the snow. Just take it right off the seats and throw it onto the field and hit players on their helmets with snowballs. All right. Goes on to say some games can be encouraging as they are frustrating. The Dolphins let a fourth quarter lead slip away and a 32-29 loss to the Bills in snowy Orchard Park. But Mike McDaniel's team also answered critics who said that Tua Tagovailoa led offense would struggle against top competition in adverse conditions. Let's not use the snow conditions to talk about gameplay because Miami was balling. All right, I give credit when it's due. Miami came to play. They did. Without a doubt. I give credit where it's due. I'm not going to be biased. Miami came to play. Waddle was catching the ball. I was sitting on the edge of my seat like, wow, okay, we got ourselves a game. No matter how much snow's out there, no matter how cold it is, Miami's balling. And that was just the reality of it. Hoodie J had to come out. I had to get very intense. I had to will the Bills to the victory. It was tough. It was another tough victory for the Bills. I'm going to give credit to Miami. Obviously, even though they lost to the Bills Mafia, but that's just the reality of it. The game was much, much closer than what I expected. So there you go, Miami. Number 10. All right. Number 9, Chargers. Chargers. Record's going to be 8-6. They're going to stay steady. They were here last week, week 15, number 9. They're going to remain number 9 in week 16. Moving on. Vikings. Number 8 Vikings. Number 8 Vikings. What are we going to say about these Colts giving up a 30-point lead? What are we going to say about that? Let me sip my tea here. All right. What are we going to say about these Vikings taking or getting the record for the biggest comeback in NFL history? And what does that say about Matt Ryan being on the losing side of history? The biggest deficit in the Super Bowl and in a regular season game. What does that say? Let me hop to the chat. Aaron Corella says, I threw a snowball at Tyreek and Josh. Yeah, shout out to you, Aaron. Timo says, Colts are F tier. Richard says, failing. Ronald says, sad. Immortal Captain Kirk Cousins. The man came back, you know. And I feel like so many people had wrote the Vikings off in that game. And it's just so amazing to see that kind of stuff because it makes people have to eat the words. You have to eat the words if you're wrong. And that's just the reality of it. Cold sold because the Niners wanted them to win. All right. Jason Jr., what's going on, man? Shout out to you, bro. All right. Vikings move down to 8. They were previously number 7, even though they got the win. So, as we keep going, number 7. Detroit Lions. Where are my Detroit Lions fans at? Obviously, we went over the Jared Goff victory over the Jets. That's going to put the Lions in the top 10. When have we seen that in previous years? When? Number 7. It's week 16. Lions are in the top 10 with a record of 7-7. Says the Lions can win ugly too. Dan Campbell's Grit Monsters went to the Meadowlands and struggled to break through against the stellar Jets defense until it mattered most. Facing 4th and inches at midfield with 2 minutes to play, offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, his head coach stock going up by the week, called a brilliant misdirection play that resulted in a 51-yard touchdown for Brock Wright. Lions have won 6 of 7 with an opportunity to move into the NFL playoff position if they can take out the Panthers. And guess what? I think that happens. I think the Lions take the Panthers and they get into the playoffs. Told you guys, it's going to be a wild time in the postseason. It's going to be a wild time in the postseason, and it's going to be really interesting. What you talking about, Willis? What's up, Robert? Shout out to you, man. Junior says Vikings were at 0 while Colts were at 30. Vikings won in the 4th. Yeah, what a comeback, man. What a comeback. What's up, Tina? All right. Number 6, Dallas Cowboys. Now, they stay at number 6. They were number 6 for 15, so they'll be number 6 this week as well, which is really interesting because you lost to the Jaguars. So I'm not agreeing with this, but I also don't think that the Lions should be ahead of them. So in all reality, I would have put maybe the Vikings at number 6, Cowboys number 7, and then the Lions number 8. That would have made more sense to me record-wise, considering the Vikings are 11-3. But okay, whatever. Kansas City Chiefs, number 5. Now, y'all know, early cash out reason. Early cash out reason caught the parlay. I had 7-leg parlay. I had 6 already closed, already won. All I needed was these Texans to win. That's all I needed. I need the Texans to win. That would have been an easy 2,700. I already had 6 down. I needed the 7th win. Well, Kansas City wins in OT. I cash out early. Had to take the kibbles and bits. They go on to number 5. Cincinnati Bengals, 10-4. Number 4. Their previous rank was 3. They came back. This is another one. Came back against the Bucks. Came back against the GOAT. And Joe Burrow's looking to show up. He's looking to show up. And we'll see what they do in the postseason. So things are starting to get interesting. We're getting down to the wire. Number 3, Bills Mafia, where you at? Number 3. It's a Saturday night's 32-29 win over the Dolphins in the snow at Highmark Stadium is exactly the type of high-stakes playoff tune-up this team needed. The season has sometimes felt like a chore for a Buffalo squad that has been ticketed for the AFC Championship game since July. These Bills have navigated injuries, inconsistent offensive play, and a significantly improved AFC East to place themselves on the verge of another division title and possibly the conference's number 1 seed. Bills, we got some tightening up to do. We got to work on this defense. We need Hyde. We need Tremaine to get it together. We need White to get it together. Von Miller, obviously, is not going to be back. Hopefully, he is coming back, but no word yet, specifically, on that time frame. But Bills Mafia, we holding down number 3. Holding it down. We're previously number 4. So we're moving up in the world. All right. Number 2, San Francisco. Now, they were previously number 2 in week 15, so they don't go anywhere. Brock Purdy. Let's read it. Brock Purdy has been tested twice, and the rookie has aced both exams with flying colors. It's a best-case scenario for the 49ers, who initially profiled as would-be Super Bowl contenders, ruined by bad injury luck after Jimmy Garoppolo was lost to a broken foot in week 13. All right, we know the story. Brock Purdy is going to take these 49ers to the Super Bowl. That's been my prediction even before Jimmy went out. I had the 49ers number 1 for the NFC as for my Super Bowl prediction. Jimmy went out. They dropped number 2. Brock came in, showed these 49ers fans that he's going to take them to the promised land. And I agree. Very proud of the kid. Liking what I'm seeing. I'm looking forward to him playing every week now. So shout out to Brock for keeping these 49ers in Super Bowl contention. All right. Number 1. And it has remained unchanged. These Philadelphia Eagles. Sometimes it's just about taking care of business. The Bears put up more of a fight than expected, but we're still no match for a Philadelphia team that made the big plays when necessary and a 25-20 win at Soldier Field. Jalen Hurts threw 2 interceptions in a game for the first time this season, but otherwise kept his MVP credentials legitimate with 3 rushing touchdowns. Moving with 1 ground score of Cam Newton's single-season NFL record for quarterbacks. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. He's currently injured. They said they're not going to rule him out against the Cowboys yet. Eagles move on to 13-1 with the victory over the Bears. Now, this week's going to be a big test. It's going to be a big test. If they lose against the Cowboys, what does that mean? And Hurts is in. Let's say he's in, and they lose against the Cowboys. What does that mean? Because the Cowboys just lost to the Jaguars. So, that begs the question in regards to which team or which teams are actually dominant in the NFL right now. Because I don't think any are. I think I think the way that this thing is going right now is everybody that's within playoff distance has a chance. Everybody. I say some teams have a little bit more of an advantage than others, but anyone that makes it to the playoffs has a chance to go to the Super Bowl. That's how I see it. Back to the chat. Let's see. Timo, they make them like they are a god. They are very good, but not great. Bills has the heart to win. Does the Birds? Yeah, I'd say they got the heart. They got the heart to win, without a doubt. Jason says same amount of wins as the Bills. They should be at second because the Bills won the same amount of games. Big test for Buffalo 2 this week. That's true. It's going to be super cold out there in Chicago. I bet $300 that the Eagles will win against the Cowboys. Woof. Okay. Mortal says they're all millennials, so nobody is dominant. Oh, man. They lost to the Bengals, but at least the Buccaneers still have a chance of winning with Tom Brady. All right. So, yeah, guys, that is going to be your Week 16 power rankings. Yeah, that's where we're at. I'm looking forward to the prediction video. We'll get into the prediction video tomorrow. Week 16 predictions we'll do tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Lock it in. Crazy week. We've got the Jaguars. Yeah, the Jaguars and the Jets. Thursday night. Let me just confirm that. Confirm that. Yeah, I was right. Jaguars and the Jets, Thursday night. We'll be streaming that, so make sure you lock it in as well. All right, guys, prediction video. It's going to be tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We'll get that going. Much love to everybody out there. And obviously, if I don't see you, happy holidays to you and yours. Thanks a lot, guys. And until next time, peace out.